Welcome back to the Löfbergs Lila Arena in Karlstad, Sweden. We're live for Draw 8 of the Women's 2012 European Curling Championship, sponsored by Gruyère. And our featured game is going to be between Switzerland and Sweden, both still very much in contention for the Page playoffs. Some Swiss fans in to enjoy the action this afternoon, and which promises to be a thrilling matchup. My name is Logan Gray, and with me I have Curling Champions Tour Director and Head of Department of High Performance for Swiss Curling Association, Armin Harder. It's quite a mouthful.
Very good, Logan.
And I think we're both agreed that this is going to be a real spectacle this afternoon.
Well, every time these two teams have faced each other, it has been, and certainly everybody remembers the final from last year, which was quite a thriller.
Yep, let's meet the teams. Janine Greiner, Carmen Kunge, Carmen Schaefer, and Miriam Ott, the world champions. And the Swedish team, Margareta Sigfridsson playing skip and lead stones, Maria Wennerström playing second, Christina Bertrup playing third, and Maria Pritz going to be playing fourth stones for the Swedish team, but sweeping. Let's have a look at the standings. Sweden and Russia out on top. Sweden only losing their first game to Denmark, but being an unstoppable force in the last 6 games. Russia moving along nicely as well in 6 wins. And then Switzerland, Scotland, and Switzerland, Scotland, and I can't remember another team on 5 wins and 2 losses. Denmark is the other team.
Yes.
Yeah. So these are the other matches out there: Russia and the Czech Republic, Denmark, Italy, Germany, Finland, and Hungary and Scotland. And we'll give you some updates along the way of what's happening elsewhere in the arena. Margareta Sigfridsson ready to get the game underway for Sweden. Of course, both the teams do have a 10-minute practice before the game, and at the end of that they will draw the button. Closest to the middle gets the hammer in the first end. Sweden will be playing the yellow tops and playing the yellow stones. Switzerland will be wearing the red tops and playing the red stones. Sigfridsson just drifts to the back of the tee line, and I think we might see Switzerland throw a corner guard here in the first end. Armin.
Sweden's been a steamroller since losing that first one. A lot of their games haven't even been close.
Yeah, they've looked really impressive. Would you make them favourites in this game, even against the world champions?
Well, just watching them for the last six games, they certainly seem to be completely in charge. Mary's had a little bit of ups and downs, so there might be a slight advantage. But these teams get up for these games. Anything can happen.
Armin, in your opinion, what do the Swiss team need to do to keep this Swedish team at bay?
Well, they certainly need to throw consistently, and the numbers have been a little up and down for Mary throughout the week. A little inconsistent on performance. This might be the game for Mary to really put it together. It's a good time to find that.
Yeah, well, certainly at the World Women's Championships in Lethbridge, I think everyone probably made Sweden the favourites there, and Miriam Ott just took it to a whole new level, winning with a fantastic split to win the World Championships.
See a nice shot there.
So the rules of play, same as always during the round robin. You must play 6 ends, even if you're losing 40-0. You still have to play 6 ends, and both teams will get 73 minutes to complete their quota of stones, and they're entitled to a coach interaction along the way as well. Sweden come around this tight centre-ish corner guard.
This one looks a little warm. It's got to come down. Don't want to bounce it.
A slight mistake there by Janine Greiner.
Yeah, you have to. Those little mistakes, the way Sweden's playing right now, the little ones that get you into trouble.
Big effort with the brushes here. Maria Verestrom playing her first stone of the game. And I don't think they would have wanted to leave it right there.
No, it's not a good position to leave it, that's for sure. A nice little double in off. Could end up behind the guard.
We're going to get our first look at Carmen Kung. For me, this is a crucial matchup for both teams. Whoever wins the battle at second, I think, will probably win this game. I think both seconds are maybe a little bit guilty of being inconsistent on occasions. So if whoever team can come out on top with a big performance at second would.
Carmen was key last season at the Worlds. Probably put best performance of her curling career together to help win that Worlds. That was a nice little shot there. It'll be difficult to remove this one.
Maria Wennerstrom, the youngest member of this team. Oh, that's a beauty.
Well done, now.
Yeah, it's amazing actually, Armin. It seems that every time you see Sweden play, there seems to be a whole heap of their stones in the house and none of the opposition's.
Well, that's just that accurate shooting and just controlled weight. Make sure your shooter sticks around. Don't want to overthrow rocks.
Yeah, I think
what you leave is important, obviously.
I think they do that better than most, don't they?
I would agree. Yeah.
They keep the shooter. They don't always play perfect shots, but they always play very good shots. They know where to miss, and
it's all about weight control too. These are all finesse shots. You really got to control the weight here. If you throw it up too much, you're jamming. If you don't throw enough, you're on the guard.
Yeah, and if you just put it back up the center line a little bit, it can just hang there. Takes a little bit of time to get across off the center line, and then it'll start to curl. Able to be a little bit firmer with that one.
See, the girls are all up for this. The intensity is there on both sides.
Well, nobody's spot is guaranteed in this page playoff yet.
Nope.
So still plenty to do, and of course,
5-team fight for 4 places. Just misses the double.
Well, of course, as well with the page playoff system, there's so much to play for in the round robin now. A real reward if you can finish as high up as possible, whereas before maybe you'd get to 7 wins and then just kind of ease off a little bit and save yourself for the playoffs. But now every game counts. You need to make sure you finish up as high as possible to give yourself as much chance as you can in the page.
Yeah, the difference between first and second is also hammer, and there are little advantages. But, everything counts, especially when the games are as close as they are. at this level.
Okay, so this Yellowstone rolls across the house and into the side of the other one. It's probably in a better position now for the Switzerland, although it's closer to the forefoot. It's more usable. They can lock one onto the side of it and make it difficult for Sweden to remove it.
Yeah. This will be need to lock this right on to be of any advantage. Just rubs the guard. Just a little short.
So I think it's important for Sweden to find out if they're lying to at the moment. They don't have the last stone in this end. And if they are lying to, I think it would be wise to use that red stone as a guard. And if not, I think a takeout is absolutely the right call.
You can hit, roll over, cover her own. That'll force the Swiss to take one.
Yeah, I think what we can take from this right now is that Sweden are only lying one. Otherwise, that red could be in a pretty useful position for them. Maria Pritz, the 36-year-old. And does a great job, sticks around the centre line and even just checks over a bit to block that draw onto the yellow behind the guard.
Ganz wenig. Ich glaube, das Girl jetzt normal, nicht so stark. Ja.
As we saw with this morning's game, I believe there's a little more curl from one side as there is from the other.
So you think
That's
he'll
what
maybe...
the Swiss were just talking about too.
So is this the straighter side or the...
This should be the straighter side if I understood her correctly.
Yeah, generally you'll find that maybe the outside sheets the curl a little more from the barrier in the way. So that would make sense. Here's Miriam Ott, 40 years old, had a fantastic curling career. Going for a run back here.
And it didn't curl that much for her. It certainly didn't curl enough.
Okay, so options here for Sigfridsson and Pritz.
Känns det som att du vill gå lite tajtare? Nej, jag tror det där är bra. Jag tror 70 är bra. Jag tror verkligen det är bra. Kan vi jobba på. Ganska gott om plats. Den här är lite lång. Får steka den här. Ja, var med nu. Den tappar mycket fart. Ja, bra linje gärna.
Okay, so I really like this call from the Swedish, hoping to get an even better one in there and really put some heat on Switzerland in the first end here.
Sliding a bit too far.
Well, this isn't really what you're looking for in the first end as a skip. You Don't want to have to play a big pressure draw in the first end. Needs to almost cut the 1 foot to score.
Well, draw weight's been pretty consistent all week on this ice. Yeah, they've had 10-minute practice before the game, so
I think
early, relatively routine shot.
Very early in the week there was a few tracks here and there. They're maybe a little bit slower, but I think Hans Wittrich and his team have done a really good job of getting things ironed out.
As usual.
Yeah, absolutely. And providing world-class ice conditions here in the Löfbergs Lila Arena. So Miriam Ott with her final stone of the first end. Needs to be a good one. You definitely don't want to let this Sweden side get off to a hot start.
Rock all of a sudden put the brakes on a bit.
This one's only going to make the 8 foot.
Sweepers just missed that one.
Perhaps a little bit of a fresh track there. Miriam Ott comes up a little short, and it's a steal of 2 in the first end for the home side. 1 end played here. It's Sweden 2, Switzerland 0. Second end underway, and Sweden choosing to go into the house. Played a really good first end, really won the exchange of those quiet weight takeouts.
Yeah, Swiss can't be happy giving up a steal of 2 in the first end. Not really the way he wanted to start. Janine Greiner.
Yeah, no surprise to see Sweden topping the stats with a team average of 81%. And they've got the top 4th, the top 3rd, and the top lead. And the top 2nd goes to Carmen Kung. So having a good week once again.
Yep. But no surprise with the Swedish results. The numbers are high.
Janine Greiner struggling a little bit this week. Only played 69% lead.
Been the struggle for the team also at the lead position. That's where you certainly expect to have your lead up to 85-90. If that's not working, you're always looking
Okay, so
Sweden, one day the Swedes outscored their opposition 30-5 or something like that. They had 12-2 against Russia, and some really big scores.
Yeah, they rolled over Scotland as well pretty quickly too. Something like 9-2.
Yeah.
So,
First! It's
although
over!
Sweden with their 2-shot lead are not content to just go into the house and run for home, they put up a centre guard and Gruyère just chips the guard.
That's a useful shot from Jenny.
Knacken blir inget bra. Jag tycker vi ska gå på den där, ja. Går den över, eller? Nej. Den är 2/3.
Men om den går över. Ja, det gör den. Nej, jag menar om den går över.
Den har 50 då.
Det är lite snurrdag.
Annars tar vi en. Ja.
Okay, so going for the peel here, they did discuss the guard option. I actually quite like the guard here. So the whole sheet's pretty much choked off, but my team usually get pretty upset with me for being too aggressive when I'm up in the game. So
Yeah. Oh, that didn't work out for very well, though.
that's a horrible result. That red's going to stay in the rings and two corner
Two
guards
corner
up.
guards, yeah.
Okay, so maybe an opportunity for Switzerland to get back into this one.
Should be curling a little more on this side. I would say that's pretty heavy.
Really needing this one to chew in.
Just barely hangs on.
Well, that would have been a disaster if that slipped right through the rings. But one of the kind of basement battles out there, Germany and Finland on sheet C. Here's Andrea Schopp with her final stone of the first end.
Looks like a free draw for 3 or more.
Yeah, just has to hit the paint to score 4, actually,
yeah.
Armin.
Yeah, 4 now.
And the sweepers seem to have this one under control. Schultz and Heiss. And it's 4 reds, 4 for Germany, and a 4-0 lead over Finland.
It's probably the biggest end the Germans have scored all week.
I think 4 is about the most stones they've had in play at any one time all week.
Or that. Yeah. Hasn't been working for them very well, that's for sure. The men have been struggling too. This doesn't look much. This way wide. This needs to curl a lot.
Yeah, this is kind of in no man's land.
Yeah, it's sitting right in the middle. Open. And it's behind the tee line. Just everything wrong with that one.
I think we'll probably see a double takeout attempt here. May as well take the opportunity to move that red stone on the back line.
It's not a very good rock at all from Carmen, is it?
Yeah, 2 poor shots. They really had a great chance in this end, and they still do, but you'd like to see the Swiss be maybe a little bit more clinical when these chances come along. There's Fredrik Hallström in the middle there, and Agnes Knockenauer on the left, and half of Andy Schwaller.
It's like the doubles there. Just missed it. Oof.
Yeah, as I was saying before, the Swiss aren't going to get too many opportunities like this, so they really need to jump on it and seize the moment.
Well, they certainly need to execute far better than they have been all week. National coach Andy Schwaller, who's now coaching this team for this event, and Eilina Patz, usually curls with Manuela Ziegrist out of Basel. Spare for this team.
It looked like Carmen knocked this one up there a bit.
They'll take it the other way now. Too late. Would have jammed if they had have swept it. A shaky start here from the Swiss.
Yeah, they're making things just a little bit too straightforward for Sweden at the moment. They really need to find a way to get a shooter behind one of the corner guards. Oh, that's not a good shot there.
Break again for the Swiss.
So now Switzerland lying one, and they can throw a draw now.
Need to make one though. Trying to decide which side to go. They decided to go around the long guard.
Yeah, I think this is the right decision to go around the other guards then. It's going to be a kind of short raise on the yellow that's lying in third shot position at the moment.
She's icing too much a little on that side right now. That's certainly struggling with the weight.
Needing a big sweep at the end as the stone comes down hard from the hog line.
And you ask your front end, what's the weight like? And they go, no idea. That's not a good sign.
Is that what they said? So I don't know if Carmen Schaefer managed to tuck an edge there. And Maria Pritz is the kind of player that will punish you for that.
She said she was a little wide on the shot. I can translate the Swiss for you.
Good to know.
Got on it right away. Wow. Rubbed the guard.
Okay, so a little bit fortuitous here. Maria Pritz just next door, Scotland and Hungary, and here's Eve Muirhead of Scotland throwing her final stone of the second end, and it could be a big score for Scotland. Hamilton and Adams swooping this one right down onto the beak, and it's 3 yellows, and after 2 ends, Scotland leading Hungary by 3 shots to 1. Eve just laughing at Anna, making sure that they passed the top one. Got the job done.
Britt's a little fortunate with her last one. She did touch the guard and just redirected, made the double.
Yeah, they say if you can't be good, be lucky, but
got to be good to be lucky.
Yeah.
That's got to curl a lot. That's not coming enough, I think. Gotta hang around. Clear that or get on it earlier.
Maybe a little bit pacey there from Miriam.
Så ist da nicht klar?
Okay, so where does Maria Pritz go to make things as tricky as possible for Miriam Ott?
I think she pretty well has to go behind the guard. She only goes to the top of the house. You got the out turn draw. You want to just cut down this, make the area as small as possible where Miriam has to draw to.
Okay, so it improves the situation a little.
Full 8 foot. Question is, how do you get there?
Well, there's certainly plenty of space on either hand,
Yeah.
but they should know this one. They've been playing the draw down onto the button numerous times, trying to go behind the corner.
This is a big shot, actually. You know, after coming up short, giving up a steal at 2. I know this looks fairly easy, but looking at 3 again.
Yeah, still needs 100% focus here from Miriam Ott. The Swiss skip needs to find the 8 foot here. I think this one's going to be okay.
Sweeper's never touched it. Oh. Miriam willing that rock to stop.
Oh boy, so that just hangs on to the back of the 8 foot, and Switzerland maybe get a little break there. Score of 1 in the second end, and Sweden lead Switzerland by 2 shots to 1. Some of the guys in to watch the play here in draw 8 of the Gruyère 2012 European Curling Championships. We've got the women's draw, 2 p.m. draw this afternoon in the Lufberg's Lila Arena, and 2 of the top sides in world curling going toe-to-toe here on sheet E. Sweden getting the better of the exchanges so far, and leading by 2 shots to 1. My name's Logan Gray, and with me I have Armin Harder calling the plays. Switzerland not quite been at their brilliant best so far.
Switzerland definitely needing to find their A game here very quickly if they want to have anything to say in this game. They're certainly being outplayed right now by the Swedes. But as we know in curling, things change quickly. And these girls are certainly capable of it.
Absolutely, Armin. Do you think there's any reason that the Swiss team aren't operating at full capacity just now?
Well, you have mentioned that the lead position has not been probably performing up to her normal standard. That puts the whole team under pressure. That just makes every shot, consecutively tougher. She continues to play like that shot was, then it'll certainly put her team in a better position to find a groove. The Swiss just haven't found that groove yet. I think there's certainly a lot more in that team. So we've seen it before. So.
Well, I think the scoreline certainly could be worse than it is right now. And are very much still in this game.
Yeah, sometimes it's not pretty, but the score doesn't. The score is important.
Okay, so what's the call here?
Straight raised back, I think, from yellow onto the red.
Don't get to see Margareta Sigfridsson throw the heater too often,
and
maybe that's why.
It just didn't come up for enough. It's not one of those type of rocks the leads get to throw very often. Take a lot of ice there. A big swing off that wall or off the outside boards.
Are we going into the house at this stage?
I think they're playing another guard.
Yeah.
I think they're not quite sure what they want to do.
I think a long guard's the call here.
Sure. The question is, you could probably maybe play it from the other side where there's a little bit less swing. That's a little more controllable. Playing guards where there's a huge swing is always a little bit more difficult. But at the end of the day, you got to trust the skip's broom and throw the right weight.
Yeah, I think I like this call mainly because when you're chasing the game and you don't have the last one, you want to keep the opposition team out of the house for as long as possible. So they decided to go in again, and the Swedish are just going to make some sort of play on that centre guard. And
well, this is far too deep, this rock. You don't want to go this far. She won it just over the hog line. This will allow a double clearing here. Maybe all three if she gets it right.
Mistake here.
Just hit it wrong, yeah.
Jams the double and rolls over and covers the in-turn draw.
Now they're going into the house.
Okay, so there's some good cover out there for Switzerland to utilise right now. Definitely in the driving seat in this end. I'd like to see them just be a little more clinical with their stone positioning.
Yeah, that's not really a good place for it. She wanted to be into the 4 foot. So relatively easy double. Executed very well. So the Swedes, having left their own rock out front like that, this gives Swiss a little more option to roll to. Ideally, would like to go behind her own rock. Keep the middle plugged up. And just didn't get enough curl.
Sweden choosing to go around their yellow corner guard here. Could try for the hit and roll, but they need to really roll behind the yellow guard rather than the red one. Otherwise it's going to be a short run for the Swiss. So Christina Bertrup for Sweden. They have the last stone. This has got work to do to get off the red guard. Oh, Christina pushes now right into the rings. So Hungary, Scotland. Scotland leading by 3 shots to 1. And could well be a nose hit for 2 for Ildiko Zekares. Well, looks like she does have a catcher over there.
Yes, she does.
And she's
She's
going to
use it too.
Well, erring on the pro side there. And I think that was almost an unmissable takeout. So a score of 2 for Hungary in the third end, and 3 ends played there. And it's a tie game.
Just slid behind the tee line. Golden opportunity for the Swiss here. Just went too long with that one. Yep. At some point we're going to have to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, at the moment, Armin, the Swiss can't complain. They've not had any chances. They're just not being able to take them right now.
This is not short either.
Just pops out into the open.
Can you get at it with the in-turn?
Solange er auf der Linie läuft, ist klar. Wenn dann rüberkommt, kommt auch schon, gell? Wat er dan wel daar? Doet hij niet. Die wil dit maar met de spar liggen. Is goed, Carmen. Nee, no.
Stiept ab, Miri.
Dann noch dort das Loch
Genau,
durchkommen.
stiept ab.
Aufpassen, wenn ich noch ein bisschen drücken, bleibt er wahrscheinlich lang auf der Linie und sobald er kommt.
Sag es einfach, hä?
In turn take out here for Miriam Ott, as you said, Armin, and it's not the biggest port I've ever seen.
Miriam just did what she said earlier. She says it'll stay on the center line quite a while. Keep it on there. It's moving though. Oh, she got through.
And rolls away as well.
Good sweeping. They did hang down that center line for quite a while, like you'd mentioned it earlier. That certainly helped with that shot.
Oh, almost papered the top one. But a great shot there by the Swiss skip.
So the Swiss are actually lying with 4 shots there.
Yeah, it's like the first time I've seen Sweden in a spot like this. This week it's usually yellow granite that's lying in this sort of spot. So maybe the Swiss team starting to move through the gears in this game. Such a simple delivery that Maria Pritz has. Just looks like nothing can ever go wrong with it.
Yeah, very efficient.
Well, she's in a little bit of trouble here, though. Oh, terrific draw.
Nothing wrong with that shot.
Maybe just slips a hair too far and gives Miriam Ott the chance to fall that one down.
Just freeze to the top of it. Be a big confidence builder if they can manage to do that.
Also, if they do manage to get it on there, it's going to be difficult to get it out.
Well, you wouldn't want to make a play at it because you're looking at a whole bunch probably too, right?
So Miriam Ott's draw weight's been a little bit wayward in the first couple of ends. Needs a good one here.
Needs a curl.
Maybe a little bit pacey.
Doesn't want to rub that one. Just, I think that was heavy. That was all that was. A couple meters shorter. I would have been able to sweep it in there nicely. I think she's going to try and draw through that hole. Straight draw through those 2 red ones. Try get it over the U in the Gruyère into the 4-foot.
Sista hasen vi behövde där.
Ja, exakt. 67-70. Då får den gå själv ganska bra.
Ja, så naturligt så.
Final stone of the third end, and it's maybe a very difficult one. It needs to be perfect line and weight.
Making a move now.
Has she got it through?
Oh, she did.
Terrific draw by Maria Pritz. Just doesn't look like she's ever going to miss. And a score of 2 somehow. in the third end. Switzerland looked in complete control there, but two great boulders by Mario Pritz, and after 3 ends, Switzerland trailing Sweden by 4 shots to 1. Welcome back to the Gruyère European Curling Championships 2012. Draw 8 of the women's competition, and on our featured sheet, Sweden and Switzerland. Sweden, after the first 3 ends, are leading Switzerland by 4 shots to 1. And maybe didn't have all their own way in the last end, Armin.
No, Swiss did look a little bit better that end. The Swedish, or the Swedes, were making a few more mistakes. Unfortunate draw by by Schaefer in the with their last rock sliding behind the tee line that set that up for the Swedes. She stays up in front, a little higher. The Swiss got the Swedes wired. That's certainly a little more positive end for the Swiss, so let's see if they can build on that. That Swedish rock behind the tee line too. It's not a place you really want to see your lead rocks.
A real gulf between the two leads. Stats for the tournament: Sigurdsson outplaying Gruyère by 84 to 69%. However, that's all history. It's all about the here and now. And a nice draw by Sigurdsson. I'm always not too sure about going around the corner guards this early in the end.
No, I'm never happy about that either. Don't like that call at all.
I think you need to throw another one maybe on the center line, or
it's better to throw it through than to go around the corner guard.
That's in a really usable position for the Swiss.
See if the Swiss can do something with it. Just want to come up to it, maybe tap it back a little bit. It's making a move now. That's a nice shot.
That isn't a good spot, so here we go, over all the way to the other side of the Löfbergs Lila Arena. And this is Anna Sidorova, the young Russian skip, throwing her final stone of the third end. And doesn't need anything too fancy here, and count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Russia. And after 3 ends, Russia off to a flyer there, leading Czech Republic by 7 shots to 2.
And here we see exactly why it wasn't a good idea to go around that corner guard. The Swiss are set up pretty good right now with that shot in front.
Carmen Kung, king of the second so far this week. playing at 80%. And although Switzerland not lying first or even second shot at the moment, they're going to want to protect that one for a few and keep Sweden out of the house. And we might see a few of these guards and then peels getting thrown.
King by not much. 79% here for Renneström. Not a lot separating these two players.
Yeah, we said that was a key matchup at the start of the game. Maria Wennerström and Carmen Kung. I think I'll give the first two ends to Maria, but Carmen definitely took the third end. So I guess the big question now, Armin, is when do you actually make your move in the house?
Yeah, you're going to have to move at least one of those yellow ones pretty soon. Make sure it's at least second shot to some point. And the Swiss back end discussing their options for the next shot.
Don't want to hit
got
this
on this
stick.
right away, yeah. Have we got the jam? No.
Wishful thinking, Armin.
Well, they were sweeping it right away.
Hungary against Scotland. Must-win game for Scotland. Currently in a three-way tie for third on 5 wins and 2 losses. This is Eve Muirhead. Yeah, facing a couple of reds there, and it will be a score of 1 yellow.
That game's just rolling along here. They're an end ahead of everybody else almost.
Yeah, Eve's usually pretty decisive, doesn't muck about too much. And yeah, Scotland leading Hungary by 4 shots to 3.
Oh, that's got us curl. That didn't curl up for her. She wanted to be right in front of it. Just stopped curling.
Yeah, I guess they're saying that can it jump back on them a
Yeah,
little
just
bit.
straighten right out. Might have picked something or had a little debris on it. These rocks are fairly aggressive, and debris will get stuck in the running surface. So before you play them, you really have to make sure they're clean. Any little bit debris there or on the ice can certainly cause a problem like that. About a 5.5 millimeter running surface on there. There's not a lot of contact between the rocks and the ice.
Sweden will want to keep one of these yellows. Keeps them both. That's a pretty big pocket if Switzerland wanted to play a freeze. Only a few.
Corner freeze to that blue one, or to that one on the right. No? The one on the left in our picture.
Well, they've only got 3 red stones to come, Armin, so
Corner freeze right there would be a pretty good call, I think. Certainly make it hard to remove it.
I think they'll want to try and bring that stone at the top of the 8-foot into play at some stage, so I'm not. I think it's a kind of marginal,
This is a
marginal call.
80% for Carmen throughout the tournament. This shot is a lot tougher than the. She's not going through the middle, is she? Oh, jeez. That doesn't help much.
I'm not too sure what happened to that one, but Carmen doesn't look particularly amused about it. So here's Lena Nilsson, the Danish skip, drawing for 1 in the 4th end. They got off to a great start this week by beating the home country. So facing a whole heap of Italian yellow stones. Grips up in time and unswept. Draw for 1. And Denmark lead Italy by 3 shots to 2. Ooh, just gets enough.
So any advantage the Swiss may have in that end disappeared when Carmen Schaefer rolled out on that rock. That's why I kind of preferred the draw to the corner on that. She's going to have to do it again.
Slank precis, hör du? Så curlet sett så vitt.
Vad är det som behövdes?
Good shot of the rock there and the running surface. It's a blue hone insert. A common Elsa rock.
Marymount playing 77% of all shots this week. Just going to try and freeze this Yellowstone on the tee line.
And it'll need to be perfect if she wants to make 2 in this end. It's looking pretty close. It just did it. Looks like yellow shot from here.
Yeah, still a fantastic shot there by Marymount. Didn't have a lot to throw at there.
Taking a good close look at it. It looks yellow to me. I think the Swedes are convinced that it's yellow.
Yeah, so if it is yellow, then Sweden will just have to throw 1 in front of it, really. Looking for something maybe in the front ring.
It doubles pretty shallow off the yellow one on the other side. A tough one.
Vi ska in i båsen. Ja. Jag vill inte ha en TT för den ligger ju precis fryst.
Ja, hon har den där.
Vi tror att vi är skott, va?
Jag tror den där är jättesvår för vilka brandar som också den är svår. Ja. Jag tycker det är jättebra slag. Ja, jag gillar det här också.
Känns bra det här, Maggan.
Men 80. 70.
Eller kommer jag spela här? 70 kan väl inte vara 10? Det tror inte jag.
Nej, okej, vad det är 75 då?
Ja.
%, tournament. Ruud Pritz, best 4th in the event. Just a straightforward guard on her own rock, which is shot in the 4-foot, sitting behind that red Swiss rock. She doesn't want to be too close.
Yeah, on the same note, Arvin, she doesn't want to be too far away either, so that Marymount can come around it. So this looks pretty perfect. Had to cover the inside edge. Doesn't matter about the outside edge, because if the Swiss came down onto the outside of that red stone, then they're going to roll away and be out counted by the one on the other side.
She's got the right side protected too. That double is pretty tough.
Well, I don't think I know many men that could throw that. Well, it's maybe just about there. I don't think Miriam Ott has the
the
weight to pull it off.
intern's not going to do it. You're going to have to throw an out turn at it. That means you lose a lot of energy coming off that rock as it changes handle. Coming at it with the in turn, which means the clockwise rotation, that means that angle will be a lot sharper coming off it than with the out turn. I don't really like this call. I think I'd be drawing to the forefoot.
I don't think it's even there for Miriam.
Steal a one here is not what she really wants. I don't think this shot as well. You really have to hammer this thing for it to work.
Well, I think there's maybe only one person here this week that could probably make this shot, and it's Nicolas Edin. Maybe Christopher SWE. They can really send down some heat, but probably Miriam Ott would be pretty low on my list for this shot.
Well, she doesn't need to move it much if she gets across to touch it, but chances of her losing her shooter are pretty big if she even comes close, which means you might as well draw for that one.
Oh.
Yeah, not even close. Not a good call by the Swiss. Probably a steal of one here.
Measure? I think it's yellow, but measure.
Okay, so we're going to have a measure here. Carmen Schaefer, maybe not the best person to get a bird's eye view of these two stones.
The old golden rule, if you have to look at it more than twice, measure it. But I would pretty well put my money on yellow.
Yeah.
If I were a betting man.
Yeah, the umpires a little bit quicker than they have been out with the umpire this week. I thought on one occasion this week they were away to go and find the one at the B Arena. It took so long for them to get the measure down here.
Right? Okay, I didn't notice that. Yep. Scottish umpire here. Oh, passing it off to. Sure, sorry, don't know her name.
You were speaking so confidently there.
I
that
was like. Anna Malcolm, huh?
Yeah, we could make some guesses at who it is, but certainly Alan Stansfield
who passed off the job.
The deputy chief umpire this week.
Yellow by a mile, as we can see. Yeah, I didn't like that call at all. Swiss made. Steal a one for the Swedes.
Yeah, they really lost the opportunity when Carmen Schaefer hit and rolled out in that end. So fourth end, and Sweden take a 5-1 lead over the reigning world champion Switzerland. Well, Janine Greiner not the only one struggling to find her weight. Margareta Sigfridsson drifting beyond the tee line, not for the first time today.
No, it's I think about the third or fourth, but the Swiss haven't taken that and done anything with it. Certainly haven't used it to their advantage.
Yeah, actually, Armin, it's going to be interesting here because the corner guard's going to go up, and I'm sure that Sweden will know from the last end that they went round the corner guard, did a good job with that draw, and it wasn't really the right call. So will they do it again?
It looks from the ice that that's exactly what she's going to do.
Okay, well, I certainly thought they were in a little bit of trouble in the last end at one stage.
Well, they certainly were. The Swiss just did not execute there. And they're going to give the Swiss an opportunity again here with this call.
I know back in the days when David Murdoch went to the European Championships for the first times, he was coming up against Pia Lindholm when it came to the kind of business end of the competition, and he often applied this tactic to stop Pia using his corner guards. But when he was going around the guards, he wasn't going deep into the house. He was only going half in the front ring just to almost choke the draw off, so he couldn't come around and freeze him.
You don't want to go too deep in the house here. And again, this rock's half open. Come back and bump it a bit, and you're in a position to do something. Even if they remove it, you can come around and freeze to it with your next one. Jumped all over it right away. You want to be able to move that. It's all over that guard.
So much disappointment in your voice there, Armin.
Got to take advantage of those opportunities. Straight clearing here for the Swedes. Might be able to get all two of them. Well, that doesn't change the situation much.
Okay, sheet 8, Russia and the Czech Republic. Czech Republic trailing by 5 after the first 3 ends. And this is Linda Klimova. Looks like she has an opportunity for a multiple score here. I think that's the first time I've seen Kubeshkova and Pliskova out on the ice together this week. So some team changes been made there, and a score of 2 makes it a 3-shot game after 4. And Russia lead Czech Republic by 7 shots to 4.
And 6 ends to go in that game, so there's still lots to play. Swedes would like to stay in front of in the front part of the house. Don't really want to roll back there. Well, I think the Swiss now have an opportunity to pick wherever they want to go.
Absolutely, they need to go around the corner guard. That's what they put it up there for.
Janine does that with her first shot, bumps it behind the tee line. You're able to go around it, even if they remove your played rock, and you're all set to go.
Yeah, there's nothing really threatening them on the center line at the moment either.
No,
so
not at all.
This is a really a golden chance to get a 2 or a 3 on the board and make this a game.
And this is looking much better, this shot from Carmen. It's just, she'd like to get a piece of the 8-foot.
Really needed to outcount that stone.
It's only third shot
on the far side.
If even. Certainly buried.
I think they've got to peel the guard here anyway, don't they?
Absolutely.
Nej, vi slår den så. Vi försöker få den i luften. Japp. Clearing. Nu är det kant till kant. Vi vill inte göra den där bara, eller? Nej, vi gör den.
So Armin, you just mentioned there were 6 ends to go here. Do you think that there should only be 4 ends to go at this point? Are you an 8 ends guy or a 10 ends guy?
That's a good question. I'm still fighting with that with myself, actually. There's positives to both sides. I like the back and forth on the 10-end game.
Okay.
I didn't really answer your question, did I?
You're allowed to sit on the fence once for every game.
Okay.
Yeah, Hungary against Scotland, and Scotland struggling a little bit. And a good attempt there by Zekares, but still a steal of 1. And the scoreline there will now be Scotland 5, Hungary 3 at the halftime.
But if you're asking about rule changes, I'm certainly for the thinking time. And I'd like to see more coaching interaction as long as it doesn't slow down the game.
Okay, I'll see what I can arrange for you.
You can do that? Okay.
Just the other week there we had a competition in Stirling, and for the first time we applied thinking time for the playoff stages, and it seemed to work really well. We had the same guy that's running all the time clocks here this week, Harold Forrester, organising it all for us. So it was went like clockwork, so to speak. Okay, Armin, so what's the kind of differences between the standard time usage and the thinking time?
Well, obviously the clock runs here as long as the Swedish clock is running at the moment because they're playing, so including the running time where the rock is running. So once she passes off control of the house, then the clock switches just like it does in chess.
What's the disadvantage of that system?
Obviously, you're playing draws. Draws tend to take 24, 25 seconds, chew up a lot of time. Takeouts take 9, 10 seconds to play. So you're being punished for playing an offensive game. And what you'd like to do is actually the time that the team needs to think. So now that rock comes to a stop, now the clock would start for the Swiss team. As they're sitting here thinking, deciding what they want to do, the clock would be running. Once that rock starts into motion, that clock stops. So it's only the thinking time that would be. So that means you could play offensive and you wouldn't be punished for playing that way. I hope I explained that.
I think it was crystal clear.
Okay. And I believe there's a majority around, and we see the clock's up at the top. 37 seconds minutes left for the Swiss. 39 for the Swedes. Still plenty of time.
In our featured game here, Switzerland and Sweden. Couple of red stones kicking about, but the Yellowstone's out counting at the moment. And that one doesn't manage to hang on the face. I wonder if Carmen's just struggling with her stones a little bit.
Well, it's not perfect, that's for sure. It's just off a hair.
Here's Diana Gaspari throwing at last stones for Italy. And at the moment, trailing by 3 shots to 2. Not in a great spot. And needs to find a piece of the 1 foot.
Well, sweepers let off it. Well, if they don't let off it, she might have that shot.
Is it 1 or is it 2? Can tell you it was 1. And Denmark moving ahead. A crucial win needed for Denmark to stay in the running here.
Tell you, the sweepers just let off that at the wrong time. If they sweep that through, she's got a nice shot. that red one out. Roll away.
You don't see that so much in men's curling, Armin. The decibels raising as it needs swept more.
No, it's pretty quiet out there with the men's. Yep, nope, yep. On, off.
Okay, so that one hits and rolls out of the rings.
Whatever it takes to get your sweepers to do the maximum. Russ Howard wasn't very quiet out there either when he was sweeping, calling the sweeping.
Well, that's true. I think the game's kind of evolving as well, Armin. It's not a dictatorship from the skip anymore. Sweepers have got far more responsibility out there on the ice, and when the stone's coming down, and obviously the team's trying to get the best out of their shot, it's more like a kind of conversation between the skips and the sweeper to get the best result possible.
A lot depends obviously also on the acoustics in the building, how good you can hear, and sometimes you get similar voices out there. You get somebody sweeping when they shouldn't be sweeping because a sheet next is being called.
Miriam Ott trying this freeze again.
She might want to bump this back so it's actually third shot or fourth shot. Bring her rock on the side back into play. A lot of separation between those two.
Samma sten är helt okej. Ja. 80.
Tror jag satte den lite försiktigt. Det kändes så i alla fall. Vilka av eller käppar går bra? Nej, ja. Lite insida vill jag helst ha det.
Lite hårdare! Rent! Ja! Nej! 70! Rent, ja! 70!
Not too worried we're losing the back one.
Nope. As long as her shooter stayed where it was. No chance for a deuce here again for the Swiss. Straight hit for one.
Okay, so interesting call here. Choosing to play the nose hit at the back of the forefoot. Doesn't need to move it with it being behind the tee line.
No, controlled. She's got to stick it. So, and she did.
Yeah, right on the beak from Miriam Ott. And after 5 ends, Switzerland have a mountain to climb when we return. Sweden lead by 5 shots to 2.
Han har bra tips på hur du ska göra. Ja, jag vill bara få honom att slappna. Bra tjejer, snyggt.
Bra spel, Maria.
So it's 5-2 to Sweden, and this is how we got there. Miriam Ott, second end. Playing against 3 yellow Swedish counters, needed to find the 8-foot, and she used all of that 8-foot. Score of 1 for Switzerland. The score would be 2-1 there. Third end. 2 terrific draws by Maria Pritz. The second one, just a fantastic shot. So much control over the running path of the stone, and just squeezes it between those 2 reds. And Sweden were off to a flyer, leading by 4 shots to 1 after 3. Then a bit of a wild call here and a wild throw from Mary Mott. Should have potentially been just drawing for 1 here, but hits and rolls out of the rings. And following a measure, it was quite easily a yellow. And it would be 5-1 to Sweden. And after 5 ends, it's 5-2. Russia, Czech Republic on the other side. We've seen a fair bit of this game. And here is the extremely talented Anna Sidorova. Nose hit here to score 2 and take a 9-4 advantage at halftime. Great sweeping by Fomina and Galkina, and it's 2 reds and a 2 for Russia. 9-4 the scoreline at halftime there. And on all the other sheets, just saw Russia, Czech Republic, Denmark leading Italy by 4 shots to 2. Germany leading Finland by 7 shots to 1. And Hungary trailing Scotland by 5 shots to 3.
Also, auf geht's. Let's go.
Fem var det din som vi alla 4 soffa.
Det får vara plats på.
Som börjar, va?
Samma som tjejer och samma energi.
5 omgångar. Ingen sten var. Bara köra.
Kör vi. Men där satt väl fint. Hur bra var inte det? Skitnöjd. Äntligen. Känner ni det? Ja.
Well, I think it's easy to see from that picture why Sweden are so far ahead of Switzerland. They're 5-2 up with the hammer and totally outplaying Switzerland in every department. 70%, probably not good enough at this level. Harman?
Well, certainly not to beat the Swedish team, that's for sure. And it'll be important to see Switzerland can do here in the last 5 ends to turn this around.
Yeah, Switzerland, if they were to lose this game, would be in danger of dropping a win off the pace and into 5th position. Denmark looking like they will probably beat Italy.
Russia certainly winning.
Yep, Russia are going to win, and Scotland will be big favourites to take down Hungary. So they would all move to 6 wins or more, and Switzerland would stay still on 5. Margareta playing 80% for this game. Not too sure about that one.
Well, no, not really. The first rocks have been behind the tee line at least 3 ends.
Oh, absolutely. And if they go behind the tee line, certainly with the standard stats system, then you'd probably only give it 1 out of 4 when you're ahead in the game. 2 at best.
And make that 4 ends.
Quite often you'll find that the ice is a little bit quicker in the 6th end. Do you find that, Armin?
Yeah, it's just had about a 7-minute rest, the ice. I don't know, that might change it a little bit, just enough to freshen it up a bit. It's a slight temperature change. Also might straighten it out just a hair too, and that's why it gets a little quicker.
Yeah, I think so often you see teams come out in 6th end and maybe not fully focused, still kind of on their halftime break, and all of a sudden all the stones start going back at the tee line. And then it's usually like 2nd or 3rd stones, and they're like, oh, it's got faster.
Within that 7-minute period of time, the ice does cool down just a hair, and that'll straighten it out a little bit and make it go that much faster. We're only talking about a meter difference or so.
I think it's maybe something that the team should be discussing at halftime. Or do you just expect them to know that at this level?
Well, I think there's a lot of other things the Swiss were discussing besides that. So I think it depends on what your team is doing at the moment. Maybe that would have been something for the Swedes to look at. And we got the jam there, and that means the Swiss do have a chance here now to put another one in the top of the 4-foot. You were looking at the who's playing who there, so it might be interesting to go through that again.
Yeah, I was just having a little look at see if there's any matchups that might work in Switzerland's favour. Obviously, there's still 5 teams in contention for the playoffs, and very much looking like Switzerland might drop this game to drop 1 win off the pace. And I think the most interesting game for them at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning will be Scotland against Russia. It looks like Russia are probably going to go to 7 wins, but Scotland are only going to go to 6 and only be one win ahead of Switzerland. So maybe Switzerland might need Russia to do them a favour tomorrow morning.
You don't really want to leave it up to somebody else to do that for you. Carmen King curling 66% here. And that rock didn't really help her percentage that much. Much too long.
Denmark are playing against Finland tomorrow morning. You would make Denmark big favourites there.
I would say. Yep.
So anyway, it's still 5 ends to go.
Oh yeah, this game's long from over, and we know the Swiss are definitely capable of playing at the level.
Maria Wennerstrom having an absolute stormer this afternoon, playing 93%.
Well, compared to Carmen Kung's 66, certainly making a difference to that position.
No, that's a beauty as well.
Yeah. As long as the Swiss have that center guard sitting up there, they're still in a position to steal.
Well, I don't think we're going to see too many takeouts from Switzerland in the second half.
I expect a lot of finesse shots. Getting rocks into play, junking it up. This is freezing on the wrong side. She want to get it on the inside of that.
Still holds in quite a nice little pocket though. And this is Hungary against Scotland on sheet D. Right next door. And a chance here for Ildi. Okay, so we talked about Russia tomorrow morning, maybe doing Switzerland a favour. Maybe Hungary can be the shock package.
Scots are far from winning this game yet.
Yes, so 6 ends played, and it's a tied game between Scotland and Hungary.
Hungary did beat Denmark. No, I'm sorry, they beat Finland. So Sigurdsson removed that center guard, which was the right call. And the Swiss just replacing it. Looks like the Swedes are going to take another run at that center guard.
Bertrup only playing a 72. Plenty of rotation on that stone to help the shooter go away.
A little bit better percentages for Schaefer. Very long guard.
Yeah, still good enough to be a nuisance to Sweden though. They won't want anything on the centre line. They are lying shot, so they know at some point Switzerland are going to have to come into the house and make some sort of play.
And they got the angles not right on that red one either. Sitting in the house.
So Denmark against Italy on sheet B. Denmark looking good for the playoffs. And here's Diana Gaspari trailing by 4 shots to 2. Final stone of the 6th end. And looks like it's going to curl enough to touch that red. And it needed it as well. It will be 2 yellows and 2 shots for Italy. Tie game there.
So Denmark not walking away from this game either. Could we have an upset here?
Well, Armin, you would certainly be a brave man to bet on women's curling.
65% for Miri. Not where we're used to seeing her. This certainly a great shot there.
Yeah, that's a beauty
better
from Mary Mott.
Much better shot for Miri there. Swiss curling, just like Swedish curling, very healthy in the women's department. Swedes have 3-4 very good teams. So do the Swiss. Lots of depth there.
Jag tänker att vi bara behöver lite, alltså det är det vi har.
Du är inte sugen på att spela den där anden?
Jag har ingen aning om hur du klarar det.
Obviously, there's Norberg. It's not playing here.
Yeah, she's okay at curling.
Yeah, she's not bad.
Nej. De tänkte på det.
Hasselberg.
Yeah, they've got a couple of upcoming teams in Anna Hasselborg and of course the McManus sisters as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's lots of depth on the women's side for the Swedes. Swiss have Tiransoni, Yaki, Segrist.
Make sure you don't forget to mention someone. You might offend them back at home.
Let me go through the list.
Oh, Armin, how
and
can
everybody
you
else,
forget me?
of course. Well, certainly the top four. Of course, Bina. Bina's back there. Pretty solid team. Swiss curling is very well. She could be a little bit better with 100%.
Just a nose hit, really, try and bounce it off the back one.
That didn't make her percentage any worse, did it?
An absolute machine, Maria Pritz. Just cannot miss in the moment. And that kind of got past that wide stone by much. Great skipping by Margareta Sigfridsson. Not the first time I've come out with that one this week.
And another nose hit here from Ott would remove 2 yellows and he's hitting 2. Just off the nose.
Yeah, if it's possible, I think she actually wants to roll towards her own red and make the double. Leave the angles going onto the wide yellow, but I don't know if that shot's there or not.
Oh, that's curling a lot. She's going to hit her own. Oof.
Actually, a pretty good result. That's lying to. That's an absolutely perfect shot there by Mary Mott. Maybe not the
double's there.
The initial call. Think they can squeeze that red right along the T line?
Oh yeah. Get rid of both those both those reds. Make 2, maybe 3.
The stones are certainly very lively.
Certainly 2 is possible.
Spelar du 70 då, Maria?
Ja då.
70!
Vad var det? Vad sa hon? Undsätt insida. Ja, det måste vara där.
Let's see what Pritz can do with this. I think there's a possibility for 2.
The Swedish renowned for their accuracy at the big weight. Here's Maria Pritz sending down the heater.
Well, 1.
Yeah, just hit that one a little too thin. Need to get closer to the nose. However, gets another end out of the way. And another point on the board. Sweden leading Switzerland by 6 shots to 2. Well, that seems to be Margareta Sigfridsson's default weight at the moment. Back four.
Jag blir ingen klok på. Liksom att den är bra. Ja, så glider den bakom.
Maybe she's got a fast stone.
Maybe.
She did, though. You would expect it to be
Shorter at some point.
Yeah, so again, corner guard, and
Sweeper's backing right off of this one. It may be too long. You don't want to go in the house.
Right, Johnny.
well, you can bet that Sweden are probably going to draw around it. Much prefer to see them go
Well,
to the
I think
open
that's too
side there.
close to the house. That's why they're not going to go around it. That's a little shorter. They might try that. She's now drawing to the other side of the rings. A much healthier draw.
Yeah, I think this is a better call when you go back at the 8 foot, is to maybe just draw the open side, not right out to the corner, but something near the 4 foot that the Swiss team will have to move at some point.
Well, I still like the call to the middle with your second shot. Yeah. Obviously, you're not guarding anything that's behind the tee. Like this is long too.
Oh boy, right alongside the other one.
It's not where you want to be in this situation. Got control of the game. Just helping the opponent doing that.
Schön.
Schön, Johnny.
Sweden starting to peel the guards, and gets one and pushes the other one over, but still sticks around in a corner guard position. And game over on sheet 3. Another 4 in the 7th end, sealing the deal for Andrea Schopp. And Germany going to move to 3 wins and 5 losses, only 6 places available automatically for the World Championships for European teams. So
that's right, Latvia being in by being host.
Yeah, so there's a real scrap going on there, and that's a massive win for Andrea Schopp.
It's also to try and avoid going into a B challenge or something like that. Be a very unusual spot for the Germans to be.
Yeah, so also plenty to play for Andrea Schopp when she plays against Switzerland tomorrow morning.
Yes. Traditional battle.
Got it this time. Great shot by Maria.
Nice.
Winner's trump.
Well, yeah. When it's working for you, it's certainly working for you.
Well, there's still options in this end, though. With that,
Those
beautiful
2 rocks behind her.
Yeah, it's a beautiful little nest.
Right.
Momenti. What? Oj. Va? Utifrån, eller?
Ja, Sonja.
These clearings will become more difficult with all those rocks in play, spread around the house next to it. Be careful if you're Swedish. Well, that'll remove 3 rocks out of there.
I'm not sure about this one from Mary Mott. She's choosing to go around this yellow in the house, I think. She leaves a piece sticking out, then it gives Sweden the chance to hit and roll into the pocket of stones on the other side of the...
This has got to slow down. This is nothing.
What I was saying there was that if she finished kind of back four around there and left a piece sticking out, then Sweden can come down, hit it, and roll into the stones at the back of the 8 foot and remove the nest as well. So I think that was maybe the right time to play a freeze
Into that pocket.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, certainly throwing it through is not a good plan.
So Christina Bertrip looking for a double takeout on her own stones.
Right.
Doesn't look like her steadiest slide. That doesn't really change much.
Didn't change much, no. Carmen Schaefer asked here to... she's making that call now to that pack.
Yeah, interesting, because nothing's really changed since the last time.
No.
Apart from the freeze might be slightly less easy.
Yeah, they were in better position before.
Yeah.
For the Swiss.
This looks like a really nice attempt here. They'll want to just push that yellow back a little bit. Maybe could have swept that a little bit more. But a nice shot all the same. Difficult to remove for the Swedes. Okay, so I think Maria Pritz just going to try and pan this one just off the nose. Maybe roll to the left a little bit and squeeze the red out across the house.
Still curling 100%, I would imagine.
I'm not sure. She didn't get the double quite right in the last end. She hadn't rolled out, so
not quite.
Maybe I'm being a little bit harsh. Yeah, just a reminder that Switzerland do have the last stone here in the 7th end. Really needing to get a deuce on the board. Great shot by Maria Pritz. Finds a way to get that red stone out of there. And Swedish fans are really getting a show from Maria Pritz today. Mary Mott playing the same draw she called with Carmen Schaefer's first stone. It's all she's really got at the moment to hide behind. Yeah, maybe just a little bit short of running that one.
Vad var Ninas clearingar här?
60. Spela det då. Jag har för mig att jag hade. Nej, bara rent. Rent, ja! Ligger bra, kör! Räcker då.
Okay, so Maria Prince just needs to get this one out of there.
Bra spel. Ja, Maria. Bra. Amaga.
And it will be a draw for 1 for Miriam Ott. Just never really seemed at the races so far in this game. The Swedish have been pretty dominant.
Ist ein bisschen schneller gespielt.
Richtig gut. Oh ja, T-Line.
It's looking pretty good.
This is just going to drift down into the 4, and it will be a score of 1 for Switzerland. 7 ends played here, and it's Sweden 6, Switzerland 3.
Tickläge eller inte tickläge? 3 omgångar kvar. Men 30 eller?
Okay, 8th end. Always one of the most important ends in the game.
Well, there won't be draw behind the tee line this time. This will be a soft peeling attempt.
Yeah, Swedish team look like they play these shots across the face.
Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I don't think they're going to be able to remove that from play. Might stay in the house, though.
Yeah, great shot there by Sigfridsson.
Yeah. You can move those rocks anywhere, you just cannot remove them from play. Part of the free guard zone rule.
Janine Greiner getting the better of Sigfridsson today. Yeah, such a useful weapon, the tick shot, if you've got a lead who practices it and
absolutely
makes a high percentage of them. It's really tough to play against. I think we'll see Switzerland go all out for the steal in this end. Same weight, really. Funny to see that Sigfridsson struggled so badly with throwing top 4, but nails a perfect tick shot. This one's just going to over curl a little bit. Do you find that sometimes with leads that maybe they focus a little bit harder on the tick shots than they're kind of run-of-the-mill, day-to-day draws and guards. Maybe make more tick shots than draws sometimes.
Go with the update first, and I'll get back to that.
Okay. Russia, Czech Republic, and here's Sidorova leading by 9 shots to 5. And this one's spinning like a top.
A lot of rotation there. Yeah.
Already lying 3. Oh, Anna, what's going on here? All that rotation, holding it straight, a little bit heavy. And they were lying 3. They only score 1. And an uncharacteristic mistake from Anna Sidorova. So in that game, 7 ends played. Russia 10, Czech Republic 5. Back in our featured game, not a good shot here by Carmen Kung.
No, I put those two together. Obviously, double being easy. So, what was your question again, Logan?
I was just asking if we talked about this matchup earlier on, and Maria Wennerstrom just killing Carmen Kung out there.
Hasn't thrown one draw a game.
Well, I think takeouts are definitely her strength as well. Yeah, we're going to get to this one eventually. What I was asking was, do you think that the leads sometimes focus a little bit harder on the tick shots because it's a higher degree of difficulty than the kind of standard top 4 tight guard, corner guard kind of shots? Maybe more likely to see mistakes in these other kind of shots that they play all the time.
I don't necessarily agree with that. I think obviously the teams have really focused on that pick shots because we see a lot more being made now. They're basically a routine shot. I mean, all you got to do is play the right weight and hit the broom and let the sweepers do the rest, like with any shot. I mean, they're a routine shot, basically. That's why I think in Canada, with the slam, the last one, they're going with trying the 5-rock rule. I haven't seen enough of that, but that pick shot is definitely routine. No.
So a mistake, finally, from Maria Wennerstrom.
Finally, yep.
Well, I think this needs to be a long guard. I think too early to go in for Miriam.
Certainly could put up another guard. This is the third's first rocks. Right now the clearing would be difficult with a long guard because the rocks are spread out across the front of the house. This is long. We're sitting 2.
Pretty even game at third. Schaefer and Bertrup, 76 and 77. Bertrup doesn't quite manage to get the wide one.
That's a nice spot for that guard. Could have been a little shorter, actually. This makes the out turn clearing a little easier. Oh, and she gets both. A little bonus there.
Yeah, didn't manage to get the back one though, Armin.
she's just over the hog line. That clearing either way becomes a little difficult.
Inget bra.
Ja.
Okay, so Switzerland might have a chance to make Sweden face a few here at least, even if they're not on the centre line in that kind of stealing place.
Fint, hè?
Might get a hit and roll out or something.
You can only hope for a mistake, I think, if you're Swiss. Haven't seen too many from the Swedes. Certainly not in the later stages of the game here.
Inte snel.
Ja, riktigt kort. Finnes kort.
Achtung, Linie.
T-line, 4 kort, T.
Plaats. Kijk er terug. Weg, weg.
Voor en achter square T-line.
Kunnen het nu.
T-line.
Snel, op van Hine.
Ja.
Ja, ja.
En.
Turn. Square T-line. Rasade i direkt.
Jag tryckte åt något eller
Så, ja. Jag tror 60. Ja. Men det är bara vad jag tänker åt alla. Vi har inte spelat så mycket där väl. Nej. Jag är på det. Vad har vi dit då, tro? Jag var lite trögare. Jag tror 60-65. Jag var ganska trött. Jag tror att alla spår utåt har det varit. Men nästan 60 på. Det var ju ändå 70-75 på 10. Så det är ju liksom... Det är lättare än förut ändå generellt. Så det kanske är 60.
Ser du något av det?
Nej.
Nej.
Ja. En centi ser jag väl. Ja. 60-65.
Okay, so they obviously gave her a full point score for the takeout a couple of ends ago. 100% for Maria Pritz, just impeccable curling.
We've seen that this week, 100% throughout the entire game.
Jag måste. Ganska bra linje.
Vänta.
På 10. Ja, lite om det går.
Det är bra fart.
I think the only other person who might have done it is her male counterpart, Nicola Sedin. She's been playing some extraordinary curling.
Sitta. Bra.
Yeah, nice draw there by Maria Pritz.
Well, it's not perfect. It could have been just a hair shorter.
Okay, so you'd only give that one 3 out of 4.
3.5.
Lopen keur, loader. Pitsli. Ja. Zo lang dus. Ja, kijk zo. 12.
Mary does have a chance here because there was a little bump. Just see a little bit of daylight between those two rocks. Mary could pick this out. Just roll in front of the red one, her own. And that'll certainly force the Swedes to make a draw to the forefoot.
Bra är det spår du har gått. Det är ju lite mer än 90 på bollen.
Great shot. That's enough. Swiss laying with 2. Does she have a double chance? Oh, double there. Not sure. It doesn't look like it. Cold draw to the forefoot. No, there's no double there. Well, maybe.
Ja, samma fart.
Not without jamming.
Samma fart. Suttit. Byta 4. Ja. Eller locket går bra. Ja.
Du får spela taken om du vill.
Nej, det är väl bra. Tittade på den också. Jag tycker båda bra. 2, va? Tycker det. Är taken för 2 eller? Ja, den är, ja, precis. De har ju, ligger ju med 2 nu. Tycker båda är bra. Det är bra. Det är väl bra. Samma fart.
Fritz trying to outdraw 2 Swiss counters here with her last rock in the 8th end. She's been perfect so far.
Bra fart! Bra linje! Bara jobba för den. Kolla upp. Nej, kör.
Now she's getting in there to sweep.
Kör nu!
3 Swedish sweepers trying to drag this thing into the forefoot. She's not coming up short, is she? Getting in the sliding path. That'll break down. Oh, steal a 1 for sure.
Well, could be 2, Armin.
Kolla på.
It is. I think it is. Big surprise.
Oh, we've got a game on our hands now, Armin.
Oh,
Time to waken up and get back into this game. Steal of 2 for Switzerland in the 8th end, and Sweden now only leading by 1.
really?
6-5 the scoreline.
Oh, let's see how quickly it can change in curling. We've seen this so many times.
Ingen fara. Nu kör vi bara.
In the sliding path, the rock will break down a lot quicker once it gets into that area. That pebble has been worn out from sliding.
Okay, so all of a sudden the Swiss fans have a little more interest in this game. See the chants begin again. They start to believe again, and
How fickle they are.
and imagine Switzerland could turn this one around and really put them back in the driving seat and things back in their own hands for their qualification for the Page playoff. Sweden choosing to come around the centre guard here, 1 up with the hammer in the 9th. You can see a lot of teams in this position these days drawing the wing. Armin?
Have seen that. But one thing you want to make sure is if you're going to draw to this position that you're where?
Yeah, in front of the T-line, certainly. That's
She's got that spot labeled.
that's got to be a little bit infuriating for Margareta Sigfridsson. Just cannot buy a stone in front of the T-line.
Certainly not with her first rock. This just really helps out the Swiss team. It's up to Johnny Gruyère now to take advantage of this. And she's been curling pretty good in this game. Certainly one of her better games. And this is looking very useful. Oh, don't sweep it too far. Overswept.
A little bit heavy-handed there.
Yeah.
Still, though, one thing that Switzerland want in this end is stones in play. And it very much looks like they're going to get that.
Well.
And another one
a little
goes
bit wide.
south.
Heavy and a little wide.
I think I would quite like to see them go down and actually try and move things around at the back of the forefoot there.
What she is calling a little tap.
Yeah. But even with the Swedish shot there, I would quite like to see them go after that back one a little bit. And
just release that red one from cover.
what Carmen Kung was looking for. You've just got a huge break in the 8th end and stealing 2, getting a massive mistake from Maria Pritz. And that's not the way to follow it up.
Nope.
You need to build on that momentum. So should be plenty of time for both teams. Switzerland with just over 12 minutes left, and Sweden with 14 and a half.
Oh, geil, viel. Mitte ist gut. Gut, schön.
The Swiss cowbells have come to life.
Yeah, they've been a little muted in this game so far by the fast start by Sweden, stealing 2 in the first end and running away really into a 5-1 lead at the start of the 5th end. Just one slack shot, that's all it takes. 8th end, Maria Pritz coming up inches short and losing a steal of 2.
Her first mistake in the game. Curling 100% up to that point.
So Sweden going to peel the guard, and over on the other side of the rink, Russia and Czech Republic. High scoring game. 10-5. And here's Linda Klimova in the 8th end. What's she got here? Oh, makes the raise.
Raise for 2.
And it will be a score of 2. Closing the gap a little bit on Russia. And can Czech Republic maximize that huge mistake by Anna Sidorova a couple of ends ago? Still a lot of work to do there. Yeah. Okay, so some good guarding by Switzerland. Sweden are still lying shot stone. And to be honest, the stone's not sitting that great for the Swiss at the back of the house there.
Not really. She might want to release that a little bit, just move it around.
Yeah, I agree, Harman. Just maybe come down at like back ring weight and just rumble things around a little bit. Maria Mott and Carmen Schaefer call a timeout. Going to need a little bit more time just to investigate this. Andreas Schwaller is going to make his way down.
A long way to go, all the way to the other end.
Yeah, I was about to say, might need a taxi to get there.
Walk all the way across the coach's bench from sheet E to sheet A, then down the stairs, and then all the way back across, and then all the way down the sheet. So folks, if you want to...
Might want to put the kettle on just now. Perhaps we'll listen into what they're saying, and Armin, you can clue us up after.
Und da verklemmt es immer. Darum solltest du den mal ein bisschen hinterher tappen. Solltest du den mal lösen.
Ja, dann kannst du ein bisschen stossen. In dem Moment hat sie...
Hä? Ja, ein bisschen lösen mit hinten 8. So viel.
Ja gut, hinten 8 löst es nicht viel. Wobei, im Moment klemmt ja der noch, also wenn du nur Flies her spielst. Ja,
Ja, op
take-out.
Freeze oder tappen oder sogar Takeout. Dass der dann wieder daher spickt oder ganz rausgeht.
Wo willst du den Nase tappen? Genau. Okay.
Ja.
Certainly seems to be a consensus in the team. A tap.
Ja.
Just move that red, release that red one a little bit from that yellow one. And important here is to keep your shooter in front of that yellow rock.
Hinten ab.
Ja.
Gut kommunizieren, immer wieder Länge
Even
durchgehen.
någon här uppe, här Sharon.
Miriam Ott, just a kind of back eight weight required just to punch the shot stone a little bit and just move things around.
Important here to keep your shooter straight on the nose would be almost perfect. It's looking pretty good.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, I feel like that looks pretty good.
Schön abgesagt.
It's shots.
Recht abbremst, gell?
It's in front of the yellow.
Ich meinte, es sei länger.
And it might give her another option with her next rock.
Nästan så det inte går att sprätta den.
Will we see a Swedish timeout here?
På den där.
I think we could well.
Eller så ska vi spela så.
Quite like the nose hit here, Harman. Bounce
Yeah,
it off
there's not
that yellow.
much more you can do with it. I mean, you have to remove that shot rock from play, otherwise she's just going to guard it.
Ja, fast då kommer de ju ha ryggen kvar.
But that may leave you looking at
Ja,
one or two Swiss counters.
en är tunn. Eller så ska vi göra den där. Ska vi ta hit Fredrik eller? Ja, ska vi det. Kommer ni upp?
Time for a team conference. Just call down the front end. You do have 4 brains on the team. You might as well use all of them.
Så tunt som möjligt, kanske på den. Eller att ta ganska tjockt och försöka vicka dit. Det ser ganska fint ut. Ja. Ska vi ta en timeout tycker ni? Känner ni för? Jag kan tänka mig att bara bestämma något också. Ja. Egentligen är ju den här dubbeln bäst. Och så ligger vi här. Vad ska de göra då? Sprätta den. Ja, eller frysa här. Vi kör för 2. Vi kör för 2 då liksom. Är det dubbeln på den då eller? Nej, då blir vi inte kvar. Dubbeln på men jag kan tänka mig den också. Och så får de se så här. Ja, gör det. Ja. Gör ingång vid rivergul, sprätta upp lite på. Den kan vi också göra. Clearing. Ja.
Seems they have made a decision. There's pretty well only one they can make.
Was ist? Aha.
Jag har potentiella träffar där uppe. Hur tunn som helst. Det kan ju vara riktigt tunn. Ja.
I think it will be a nose hit from Maria Pretz here.
Yeah, she'll want to keep that shooter in front of that.
Yeah, absolutely. If she can stick this right on the nose, then it's going to make it pretty difficult for Switzerland to remove it as well.
Well, she's picked it clean. Almost clean.
Okay, well, that works as well, but she's going to be facing 2 with her last stone, I would think. They're both going to be behind the tee line here, but let's just look at this one. Just clean picks it. And
den bakre.
Stones flying everywhere.
Han var den eller svaretangering, det väl liksom.
Just missed the top side of that other red. Could have got them all going.
Yeah, almost. Huh? I'd be tempted just to play a freeze or a tap here. Just a freeze. They're replaying, opting for the hits. Would like to lay 2. She needs to keep her shooter though. It's got to curl a lot.
I think she'd like to spread them out though.
Huh?
Yeah, good shot there by Maria Mott. I don't think we'll see Maria Pritz throw a draw this time.
Nope. She doesn't want to roll out either. Needs to hit and stay. She doesn't have a lot of room to roll. Well, you know, for controlled hits, that's it's not that much ice.
Needs to hit this right on the beak. Has it curled enough? It has. It's a score of 1 for Sweden. And all of a sudden, in the 10th round, Switzerland only trailing by 2 with the last stone. And maybe this game's still alive. 9 rounds played, Sweden 7, Switzerland 5. Final end underway here in the Löfbergs Lila Arena, and draw 8 of the Gruyère Women's European Curling Championships 2012. Sweden looked like they had it all sewn up, and then one poor shot by Maria Pritz, and all of a sudden Switzerland right back in this game. Definitely Switzerland in the ascendancy at the moment. Maria Mott away for a timeout of her own, so just 3 players on the ice. And if you've just joined us, you're listening to Logan Gray and Armin Harder. Following the game, a little bit more interested again, Armin?
I was interested the whole time. Just watching this Swedish machine here, but does have some kinks in its armor.
Margareta Sigfridsson getting one in front of the tee line with her first one. Of course, Armin has a special interest in this Swiss team as the head of the Department of High Performance for the Swiss Curling Association. And
that makes me completely unbiased here, obviously.
Completely. Okay, and Scotland have defeated Hungary. They've been big favourites in that game, and they win by 8 shots to 5. Scotland are going to move to 6 wins, and Hungary will stay on 1 win.
Well, chapeau to the Hungarians. They took him right to the 10th end.
Yeah, absolutely. Just got ran out of stones down the last.
Yeah. So now we're looking at the Sigvardsson did get her rocks finally into the right position with the first ones. Obviously looking a lot better there. Now the job will be to remove the guards. There's one gone.
I think they're maybe moving the wrong guard there. But Russia defeating the Czech Republic. 2 scored in the 9th end, and Russia are going to move to 7 wins. Czech Republic still in the fight for a place at the World Championships on 2 wins and 6 losses. Yeah, I think I might have been tempted to peel the other corner guard. More and more we see teams coming around 2 stones in the house when they're kind of staggered. And the good thing about where that corner guard is that it's blocking that draw. So I think maybe it might have been a better idea to peel the other one.
It's also the side that curls more if you want to get around that guard. It's a little easier to get around that guard as opposed to the one they're taking out now. Swiss deciding to make a move on some of these rocks sitting in the top of the house. These Swedish rocks, they'll try and tap them back, spread them out a bit, create some backing.
Just looking for this one a little bit higher than nose. They would like to move the one on the button.
Just missed it, and she didn't want to remove it. I'm not quite happy with that. That's also a discussion. Is you're down at the 10th end of the situation, do you play your 2 rocks into the front of the house instead of trying a soft peel? Because this does give the opposition a rocks in play.
Yeah.
Back.
Well, you have to expect that the Swiss are going to throw corner guards, and corner guards are really hard to take. You've not really got a lot of room to work with. Super shot here, though, by Nina Bertrup. Well, I thought the stones were in a better position before to go around the corner guard.
Yep. We're down to Thurs rocks, though.
Quite often feel that when I'm watching Miriam Ott's game, there's not always a huge amount of pattern to what she does. Maybe just how she feels at that exact moment. More based on instinct than logic sometimes.
Thank you, Logan.
Not looking for any comment. I'm just projecting my opinions. I don't get to do that on all the teams. Okay, so they can obviously see a piece of that stone from the hack. And Switzerland running out of stones.
Doing what's comfortable is obviously a big part of this game. So you got to feel right about what you're doing at any particular moment.
Okay, so you might have some interest over on sheet B here, Armin. An Italy victory over Denmark would certainly
looking pretty tough, though.
Would certainly help the.
She couldn't ask for a tougher draw to the button.
Yeah, it needs to come right around the outside here. Immediately down with the brushes. Say the line looks okay. How's the weight?
She needs a piece of the white.
Will it get by the red? Oh, it
It's got to
does.
stop.
Oh,
It does.
Super
Amazing
draw
draw.
by Diana Gaspari.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable play, and well, that's a big help for you guys, Armin.
That was probably the best draw I've seen all week. That's amazing.
Yeah, Diana Gaspari starting to show some of the form that took her to the European final in 2006. Super draw. And that one's going to hurt for Denmark, who dropped to 5 wins and 3 losses. Italy moved to 3 wins and 5 losses. That's a huge draw. That really puts them in a good spot for making the Worlds alongside Germany, who are also on 3 wins. Back in our featured game, Sweden and Switzerland. We expected a tight one, a replay of the World Final this year. And it's a 2-shot game in the 10th. Sweden leading by 7 shots to 5. Carmen Schaefer's played a good draw around here.
Yeah.
Armin?
In a game that was completely dominated by the Swedes. Swiss actually have a chance here in this end to tie it up.
Fredrik Hallström on the way for a Swiss coach interaction.
Lägga den. Hur känns det bra? Ja. Ska de skjuta den, då kan vi skjuta den. Och så får vi släppa 2 och skiljet då. Ja. Okay. Men du går gärna från den handen då. Den? Vill du ha den? Hake?
Okay, so Magan gave the coach and the team 3 options. A guard, a freeze, or a peel.
Looks like they've opted for the guard.
80-85, jag tror faktiskt det. Ni släpper på här.
Yeah, I like the guard here. I think these Yellowstones are in a really nice position.
Well, they certainly are in a nice position.
Guess they're probably wanting to...
Our guard better be perfect, though.
Yeah, it needs to be perfect, or even just slightly center line side. I think they can afford to show the outside a little bit. Maybe over curling a fraction here.
Not only fraction, a lot.
Oh boy.
This is the problem with this call if it's not perfect. Swiss now have a chance to double those 2 out and roll in behind a guard. You even got a chance for 3 now.
Yeah, this one's all about getting a good shooter. Interesting stuff here.
Wow.
I don't think we'll see an enormous weight here from Maria Mott. Again, I always say that when you're chasing the game, you need to keep your shooter in play.
Critical to keep your shooter in play in this situation. Yep. It's certainly not short.
Oh, Miriam.
Really
I think she's
threw this up.
Yeah.
She might take out her own here on the side too if it doesn't curl enough. Now it's coming.
Doesn't
jams it a bit.
I'm with you on that one, Armin. I thought she did just pop that up there, and you did say earlier on that it does curl off that barrier side, and that one comes down just inside the nose.
Need to curl a bit more.
Still not a great spot for Sweden all of a sudden.
There's a double there. Oh, 2 reds.
Well, looks like a double or a guard required.
rädda den där också. Du får inte ha något hål.
Sådär. Tycker ni något annat så är det såklart så får vi prata om det. Ja, det skiljer inte
Yeah,
sådana
sitting
fall.
on the edge of their seats.
Tycker ni det så jag är helt med på det
This
också. Det var bara spontant liksom.
game's really turned on its head since that miss in the 8th end
Ja.
from Maria Pritz.
Var det lite tajt eller?
Opting for the guard.
Jag tyckte inte det. Kanske bara lite.
Her last one overcurled quite a bit.
Ja, vi måste ha lite mera is ju. Ja, här hade vi på förra.
Yeah, Sweden looking a little bit edgy here.
För 80 för att vara nära. Vill vi lite närmare va?
Okay, so I'm thinking that the Swedish will take plenty of ice this time. Yeah, hits 100%, but the draw stat they were interested in here, 83%.
She's lost those percentages just in the last couple ends.
Kommer Karla. Hake. Bara stanna. Hake. Mellanhake. Ja, var med nu. Mellan. Ja.
I think they've got a much better line this time.
Yeah, this looks better.
Nej.
Nice and high, allowing them to sweep it at the end and bring it down.
Jämnhöjd, precis jämnhöjd.
Sitt,
Nu då.
sitt, sitt.
Ja då. Nu Maria.
Well, there is a lot of curl there, so that yellow is still exposed.
I think there's still a shot here.
Yeah,
Armand come round and tap this through.
absolutely. There is a lot of curl on that side.
Fågeln och nåden.
They're not even looking at it though. Yeah, looks a little different from this perspective.
Wow, det var.
I think it's still there on the intern.
Yeah.
Come round and tap it back.
Guard's pretty long.
But
Ska du ha ett sitt Mirika?
Miriam Ott likes the angled raise. Tough shot.
Oh, that's tough. She's got to go red.
Yeah, and she'll need to get it onto the top side of that red as well. So, one thing's for sure, this is no gimme. Could this be another knife to the heart of Sweden from Miriam Ott? Played a phenomenal shot to win the World Championships in Lethbridge in March. Can she pull out another one out the bag here? Well, according to that, only a 73% chance of making this shot.
Well, this is a very low percentage shot as it is.
Has she made it? Has she made it? She's close. Just
No.
a fraction too thick.
Yep.
And it's a steal of one. A win for Sweden. And Sweden continue on their course towards the playoffs, going to 7 wins and 1 loss alongside Russia. Switzerland are going to drop to 5 wins and 3 losses.
A well-deserved win from the Swedes. They were certainly far better than the Swiss throughout most of the game.
Det är lite, alltså jag kanske skulle gått på take. Ja, vi skulle ha gått på take.
Det hade varit lugnt och bara tagit bort en.
Precis, men vi ville ju...
Jättedålig utdelning på det nästan. Fan vad
Ja.
svårt det var.
Det måste vara flyt i min... Nu bytte jag i ordning sista omgången.
Ska vi vinka till dem? Kanske. Fan vad bra. Bra vi vill ha vinka. Jag måste hämta...
Logan's had to race down to do a quick interview. The close game at the end. Sweden controlled most of the game up until a steal of 2 in the 8th. Pritz coming up short on an open draw to the forefoot. That gave the Swiss some life. So Swiss will have to fight a little bit. Another important game against Germany to try and qualify for the playoffs. Just putting the Swedes here at 7-1.
Yeah, we're going to skip back to the 16 here. It's Maria Pritz facing 2 Swiss counters. And she's going to do quite well to score one here.
Could have almost scored two if she gets a little fuller.
Eighth end, again Maria Pritz facing two, this time with the draw shot. And quite a team effort to try and drag this one down to the forefoot. Comes up short, and it's a steal of two for Switzerland. Not a mistake you expect to see from Pritz. 10th end. Looks like a pretty impossible shot for Mary Mott. Looking to run her own corner guard back to score three. Or at least two maybe. Doesn't quite make it. And it's a steal one for Sweden. They shake hands. Final score 8-5 for Sweden. There was another 4 games in the arena this morning, or this afternoon. Russia in a high scoring game, beating Czech Republic 12 shots to 7. Italy, Diana Gaspari made a super draw to win it, 7 shots to 6. Germany walked all over Finland with an 11-2 win, and Scotland beat Hungary 8 shots to 5. So after that win against Switzerland, you'll see Sweden topping the standings with Russia 7 wins, 1 loss. Scotland, the only team at 6 wins and 2. Switzerland at 5 and 3, along with Denmark. Italy moves to 3 and 5. Germany also at 3 and 5. The Czechs at 2 wins. Only Finland and Hungary in the bottom with 1 win each.
Margareta, what did you do to make things difficult for Switzerland today?
Well, we tried to make our shots and put the stones in very good places for us. So we played a really good game.
Do you have any extra desire when you play against the reigning world champions after the loss in Lethbridge?
Yeah, of course. We really wanted to. We played Miriam lots of times last year and won the most of the games, but lost the world's final. But it was a very good game then, so of course it feels good to get a little bit of revenge today.
I bet it does. That's 7 straight victories this week. What's your secret?
We work very hard to find our game and learn a lot of the ice and of the stones in every game. So that's part of the success. We play really well.
Okay, and what would that mean to win the gold medal in your home country to you?
Oh, it would be fabulous to do that.
Well, congratulations and good luck.